Hello everyone, my name is Trevor, I go by TheMrTrails, and welcome to the channel. In today's video, we're finally going to be going over strikers in depth on this channel. Dauntless describes strikers as hard-hitting gauntlet weapons that pummel behemoths into submission with staggering impact. And hard-hitting they are indeed. Because of this, strikers are often the top option for the endgame content of Dauntless Trials speedrunning. And in this video, we'll be going over the inner workings which make them such an attractive option. Real quick before we get into it, I wanted to recognize an important milestone on the channel that completely escaped my eyes until this Tuesday. We hit over 100,000 video views on this channel. We're quite a bit past that now, but it's an important milestone anyway, and I just wanted to say thank you guys. And another milestone that I think was actually finished on Tuesday was that you guys have watched my videos for over 500,000 minutes, 500,000 minutes spent on me. That is almost a collective year of time spent between all of you, and that's absolutely ridiculous, and I just have to thank you guys for all of that. Back to the topic at hand though. Strikers have been ripped on since their release as being a weapon that is much too powerful and rewarding for the effort put into them. Even after several nerfs in terms of damage per second potential, strikers are second out of all of the weapons, only being edged out by hammers now. However, strikers find themselves a more favorable weapon in many situations than hammer is due to their fast attack speed and mobility options. So what goes into strikers being as strong of a weapon as they are? Strikers have three combos: Focused Assault, Spirit Barrage, and Mighty Squall. The common notation for these combos is light, 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 heavy, heavy, and heavy, heavy, heavy. Light attacks being performed by left-clicking square X on Xbox or Y on Switch, and heavy attacks by right-clicking triangle Y on Xbox or X on Switch. Strikers were the first weapons in the game that introduced a concept of rewarding a player for using more than one weapon combo. Landing the finishing punch of any one of these combos rewards the player with a mantra. Each combo rewards a different mantra to the player, and strikers gain access to different special abilities depending on the number of mantras active. Each time you gain or use your mantras, you're granted a use of the special ability Surge. Surge is performed by tapping the special button by default. This is Q on keyboard, R1, RB, or R on your controller depending on the system. Surge itself does not cost a mantra to use and is utilized for repositioning around the behemoth or refreshing your mantra ability timer. Holding the Q, R1, RB, or R buttons will use your mantra hold ability and expend the mantras you've accumulated. Gaining one mantra gives you access to the hold ability Tempest Form. This ability gives you a 20% attack speed bonus for the next 30 seconds. Gaining two mantras gives you access to the hold ability Karma Breaker. This ability is a forward lunging strike which will deal 400 base damage up front and 1050 base damage over the next 35 seconds. Gaining all three mantras gives you access to the final hold ability, which is your equipped weapon special. The base special, Adamant Bolt, deals 900 base damage in a straight firing line to wherever the user is pointing. And the second special is Titan's Crash, which now deals 500 base damage to the nearest part of the behemoth and 166 base damage to up to two other parts. Generally, the Titan's Crash is the one that is used more often due to the stagger damage it provides, as well as being faster to execute than Adamant Bolt. This being faster to execute generally overwrites the extra 68 base damage of Adamant Bolt, with the advantage to using Adamant Bolt being if extra part damage is needed in a squad when running a Warpike, as the shot damage type from Adamant Bolt gets a higher bonus to part damage on wounds than Titan's Crash blunt damage bonus does. The real reward to strikers lies in using the three mantra specials of Adamant Bolt or Titan's Crash, while the one mantra special of Tempest Form and the two mantra special of Karma Breaker still have their durations active. For each of the two active, your three mantra special deals an extra 50% base damage. This brings the base damage for the three mantra specials up to 1800 for Adamant Bolt and 1664 total for Titan's Crash. Making sure you are always using the three mantra special with this base 2x damage bonus active is a key part in the mastering of strikers. So there's a typical sequencing of attacks that makes itself known because of this mechanic. The sequence goes as follows: light, 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 mantra. Light, 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 heavy, heavy, mantra. Light, 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 heavy, 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 mantra. Then you will repeat all 3 combos and mantra until your Tempest Form and Karma Breaker have expired. There will be certain situations which will call for the ordering of the 3 combos to change, such as going into all heavy attacks just to make sure you can get that stagger off. The strikers also have 3 weapon mods, 2 of them being useful and relevant. The first of which is Cyclonic Strike Plate, which will make your Tempest Form last for an extra 10 seconds, and during this final 10 seconds increases your damage by 15%. Or at least it's worded as though it would increase damage by 15% when it only increases part damage by 15%. For those of you who might not know, part damage and core damage are not the same thing. Part damage is yellow damage for when you hit a behemoth in a particular area of its body. All this damage goes toward is breaking off parts from certain pieces of the behemoth, whereas core damage is white damage and it is hidden by part damage. Core damage is being dealt in the background if you have not yet broken a behemoth's part, and core damage is the only damage type that actually affects the behemoth's HP bar. If this mod did increase our core damage by 15%, it would be the only mod worth running. But since it only increases the part damage, we have another mod that is competing with it. And Echo Brace Driver is that other mod, and with each critical strike you hit, Karma Breaker's damage over time is increased by 10% for the remaining duration of the Karma Breaker, which generally won't translate to a huge damage per second increase, so this is what you generally use the 2 for. You would use Cyclonic Strike Plate in the event that you wanted that extra 15% part damage for those 10 seconds, or if the extra 10 seconds to the duration would save you from using Tempest Form an additional time during the fight. For either those, or in the event that you have 0% crit chance on your build. And you would use Echo Brace Driver when the fight is very crit intensive, and or if the fight would require the same amount of Tempest Forms as if you were to use Cyclonic Strike Plate. So now that we've covered the basics and some more specific things about the weapon, let's discuss another thing about it, which is interrupting. The heavy strikes in the Spirit Barrage and Mighty Squall combos are the base attacks capable of interrupting, as well as all of the damaging specials. This means Karma Breaker, Titan's Crash, and Adamant Bolt. The most effective and most practical way to interrupt with the strikers is to use the Spirit Barrage combo of light, heavy, heavy. The first heavy strike of the combo is a rapid succession of them, which hits 4 times rather quickly, making getting an interrupt done with it rather simple. While you can interrupt more safely with your Titan's Crash or Adamant Bolt special, when you're using the Overpower perk, you want to save the use of these specials for after the interrupt has happened, so they deal more damage. Speaking of Overpower, what kind of build will we generally want to be running on strikers? What is considered to be the best striker build for general hunting consists of 6 Berserker, 6 Catalyst, 6 Overpower, 6 Predator, 6 Rage, 3 Wild Frenzy, and 3 Discipline while using the Thrax strikers with Riftstalker Bond. You can achieve this same perk economy with Torgadoro strikers with Hellion Bond, but the Thrax Riftstalker Bond does slightly more damage because of the unique effect. If you choose not to use potions for your hunts, you can easily swap out Catalyst for Conduit and your build will still be very competitive. And it just so happens that running strikers with this build is one of the easiest builds to get flawless kills on behemoths with, and running Blitz, Frenzy, and Assault tonics can make for actual stagger locking of behemoths. This build can make them unable to move and turn every behemoth into your personal punching bag. Strikers do seem a bit difficult to understand when you first use them, but once you get the hang of them and see what they can do, they turn into a very versatile and useful weapon. And perhaps the most important thing about them is that they are pretty fun to use. Set the power aside, I was a striker main in Dauntless for quite some time simply because of how much I enjoyed playing with the weapon. And even when you throw like my friend Raincow and forget your Karma Breaker, you're still having fun. And on that note, we'll be wrapping up today's video. If this video helped you to better understand strikers, do consider leaving a like. And if you enjoy Dauntless content, consider subscribing to the channel where I post Dauntless content every week. I've been Trevor, I go by TheMrTrails, and I will catch you guys next time.